Chapter 7, Building Bridges, Feel Greater and Faith. Here's where Feel Greater reveals its most profound dimension. It doesn't compete with your faith, it amplifies it. While some philosophies clash with religious beliefs or demand you choose sides, Feel Greater operates in perfect harmony with spiritual practice. Your devotion to God becomes fuel for achievement. Your religious goals become opportunities for that electric Feel Greater sensation. Your spiritual growth transforms into a systematic pursuit of your highest potential, blessed by divine purpose. Faith enhanced achievement. Take a Muslim who wants to set a personal goal of making their 5 daily salats, prayers, at the masjid. This becomes a profound, feel greater goal that requires intentional planning, consistent effort, and spiritual dedication. When achieved, they experience that electric sensation of accomplishment, plus the joy of seeing their spiritual dreams come true. Consider a Christian who commits to attending Sunday service in person without missing a single week. This goal demands careful planning, boundary setting, and prioritization. The achievement becomes both a spiritual victory and a feel greater moment that strengthens their faith practice. The applications extend across all dimensions of religious life. Reading sacred texts more consistently, memorizing verses or prayers, saving for pilgrimage, participating in community service, or deepening meditation practice. Each becomes an opportunity to apply Feel Greater principles while honoring spiritual beliefs. The Feel Greater sacred cycle. When you apply Feel Greater to religious goals, you engage the Feel Greater cycle in service of spiritual growth. This enhances your connection to daily religious practice rather than merely achieving external milestones. Comes sacred planning, intentionally structuring your spiritual life to support deeper faith. The goal setting process itself becomes a form of devotion, a commitment to growth that honors your beliefs. Moment transforms spiritual achievements into celebrations of faith. The feel greater sensation amplifies the joy of spiritual accomplishment, creating positive associations with religious practice that strengthens long-term commitment. Memory preserves these spiritual victories as sources of ongoing inspiration. Reliving moments of spiritual achievement reinforces your identity as someone committed to faith, creating a reservoir of motivation for continued practice. A framework for interfaith connection. Feel Greater becomes a powerful framework for interreligious dialogue and friendship. It creates a neutral space where people of different faiths can come together to celebrate religious accomplishments, building bridges across traditional religious divides. Picture an interfaith Feel Greater celebration where participants from different religious backgrounds share similar spiritual classifications. A Muslim shares their story of memorizing portions of the Quran, while a Christian celebrates memorizing Psalms, and a Jewish participant recounts learning Hebrew prayers. Despite their different scriptures, they're united in celebrating the universal human experience of spiritual dedication and achievement. These gatherings allow people to share their religious goals openly, support each other's spiritual journeys, and celebrate together regardless of their different beliefs. The focus shifts from theological differences to the common ground of spiritual aspiration and accomplishment. Maintaining spiritual boundaries. It's important to emphasize the significance of not intermingling Feel Greater language, symbols, or terminology into your religious or spiritual system. Your faith tradition has its own sacred language, symbols, and practices that should remain pure and uncompromised. Feel Greater serves as a complementary framework for achievement and goal setting, but it should never dilute or replace the authentic expressions of your spiritual beliefs. The Feel Greater hashtag, Feel Greater terminology, and movement symbols belong in the realm of personal achievement celebration and community connection. They should not be integrated into prayers, religious ceremonies, or sacred rituals where they would compromise the integrity of your spiritual practice. However, as a balance, if there are prayers you can offer within your spiritual practice for the Feel Greater community, asking for blessings, guidance, or protection for those pursuing their highest potential, place for mentioning feel greater. These prayers honor both your faith tradition and the community while maintaining proper boundaries between spiritual devotion and achievement philosophy. Paradigm. While many religious systems have believer versus non-believer paradigms that parallel the virtues of good versus evil, the feel greater philosophy does not ascribe to such language to draw boundaries between the feel greater community and everyone else. It's a total opt-in motivational paradigm that does not vilify those who choose to opt out. Feel greater creates no spiritual hierarchy or moral superiority. There are no feel greater believers versus non-believers, no righteous versus unrighteous divisions. Someone who chooses not to engage with feel greater principles isn't morally deficient, spiritually inferior, or less valuable as a person. They've simply chosen a different approach to their personal achievement and goal pursuit. Members of the same religion shouldn't use feel greater to isolate or one-up another adherent. The feel greater engaged person shouldn't view themselves as more dedicated or spiritually advanced or worthy of greater respect within their religious community. Instead, feel greater should enhance personal spiritual practice while maintaining humility and respect for others' spiritual journeys. Cross-cultural celebration. Now let's explore how feel greater bridges another of humanity's major divisions, cultural identity. Just as feel greater creates bridges across religious boundaries, it also serves as a powerful force for cross-cultural understanding and connection. Culture on display. Feel greater moments naturally showcase cultural identity in beautiful and authentic ways. Weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, and celebrations become opportunities for cultural expression and display. A traditional Mexican quinceañera celebration, a Jewish bar mitzvah, an Indian wedding ceremony, a Chinese New Year celebration, an African graduation ceremony. All of these represent profound feel greater moments while simultaneously putting rich cultural traditions on full display. The achievement and the cultural identity become inseparable, creating authentic windows into diverse ways of celebrating human accomplishment. The global showcase. Feel greater hashtag creates an ever expanding gallery of how different cultures celebrate achievement and mark meaningful milestones. Users around the world share their feel greater moments, and in doing so, they share their cultural heritage, traditions, foods, music, clothing, ceremonies, and values. The platform becomes a living museum of global culture, but one grounded in personal achievement and authentic celebration rather than tourism or performance. Getting to know each other. This authentic cultural display serves as a profound purpose. It helps us get to know each other. When you see genuine celebrations from cultures different from your own, real people achieving meaningful goals within their cultural contexts, you encounter the truth of those cultures rather than stereotypes or misconceptions. The observation of each other's cultures challenges people's false ideas. Instead of relying on negative media portrayals, secondhand assumptions, or historical prejudices, people witness authentic moments of joy, accomplishment, and cultural pride. They see families celebrating together, communities supporting individual achievement, and traditions that honor both personal growth and collective values. Counterbalancing negativity. The seeing of these authentic experiences provides a powerful counterbalance to the negativity that often dominates cross-cultural perceptions. When someone witnesses a beautiful feel greater celebration from another culture, whether it's a graduation ceremony, a religious milestone, a creative achievement, or a community accomplishment, they're seeing that culture at its finest. This positive exposure doesn't just correct misconceptions, it actively builds appreciation. People begin to see the beauty, wisdom, and humanity present in cultural traditions different from their own, sparking curiosity and dialogue. Beyond correcting false ideas, authentic cultural display through feel greater moments increases curiosity and opens doors for direct dialogue. When someone sees an intriguing celebration or tradition from another culture, they naturally want to learn more. Instead of making assumptions or relying on stereotypes, People can engage directly with those who are sharing their cultural feel greater moments. They can ask questions, express admiration, share their own traditions, and build real connections across cultural boundaries. A bridge across divides. Feel Greater becomes more than just a celebration of individual achievement. It becomes a bridge across humanity's most persistent divisions. By grounding cross-cultural exposure in the universal experience of accomplishment and joy, it creates safe space for authentic cultural sharing and genuine human connection. In this way, the Feel Greater community doesn't just help individuals achieve their goals, it helps humanity achieve greater understanding, appreciation, and unity across the rich diversity of human cultural expression. Exercise. Identify one culture different from your own. Search for Feel Greater content from that culture, or imagine what their celebrations might look like. Write down these 3 things you appreciate about how they celebrate achievement.
Peace and love. My name is Amari and Nyota Kweli, and I am the founder and visionary of Feel Greater. I just wanted to take a moment to just explain to you what Feel Greater is. Feel Greater is a feeling. It's a feeling that you get when you accomplish something. Anything. It could be something small that you do for yourself, or it could be something pretty big, like a college graduation, a wedding, your birthday. That's a Feel Greater moment, right? Because you've accomplished living another year. That's an accomplishment. So it could be literally anything that involves you accomplishing something, or something that your family or friends accomplish. Like when my son scored 4 touchdowns in a football game. That was a Feel Greater for me as the father. And it was obviously a Feel Greater moment for him scoring the touchdowns. Or when my daughter graduated from hair school. She got her certification. And for me as a father, it was a Feel Greater moment. So you can experience Feel Greater just in the people that you care about as well. So Feel Greater as a website is dedicated to just sharing those Feel Greater moments through pictures and video, but more importantly, celebrating those Feel Greater moments here on the site, in social media, as well as the amazing Feel Greater Day. That's right, Feel Greater Day on July 16th. We're going to all be celebrating globally all the Feel Greater in our lives. We're going to be sharing our stories. And if you really want to know more, just go to channels and go to the Feel Greater Day channel. So with that said, thank you for coming and stopping by to learn about Feel Greater. And I hope that you share your Feel Greater moments and stories with us at feelgreater.org. Until next time, peace and love. Mwah. Oh yeah, one last thing, the Feel Greater hashtag. Make sure you use it on all your videos and pictures that are about Feel Greater. That way it'll make it to the feed. Now, if you go to the feed, the live feed, and you use the hashtag, you should see your picture and video on there. It's only filtering on Instagram at the moment. Maybe in the future, we'll also filter off of other social media sites. But if you post a picture on Instagram, use the hashtag, and it will make it to the feed and ultimately into the Feel Greater archives. This is very important. I'm glad I remembered to tell you this. Feel Greater's hashtag is simply the hashtag followed by Feel Greater. Use it on all your pictures and videos that have Feel Greater memories in it. With that said, peace and love. Mwah.